What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Naruto chapter 671, and I'm not gonna lie, this chapter, it was freaking amazing. I definitely loved it, and we get this awesome color page at the beginning, and we see now that the colors, the color scheme for the Sage of Sixth Path, it definitely surprised me because I did not think that he'll look this way. But I noticed that that his two eyes, they have the Rinnegan activated, but we see that his third eye only has the Sharingan, and I thought that all of his eyes will have the Rinnegan, so I was definitely shocked to see that only two of them did. But I gotta say, he definitely looks badass in this color page that we get. So that would definitely like, and it's pretty awesome how we have Naruto here representing the sun, and we have Sasuke that actually represents the moon. That right there is pretty awesome as well. So I'm definitely liking these color pages that we got because to me, they were freaking amazing and I actually loved them. And so now we see that the other chapter here, it picks off from my last week where we see the Sage here. He actually, he can actually see Asura chakra inside of Naruto, and even Naruto himself, he actually knew that, or at least Naruto could sense that Asura was actually inside of him. And of course, there's no surprise here when the Sage actually asks him if Naruto actually knows who the other brother is, Indra's successor. There's no question that it's Sasuke, and Naruto actually picks that up right away. And so we get the flashback, like after the Five Kage Summit, where Naruto and Sasuke, we're gonna have this death battle. We see now that when Naruto here, he actually sensed inside of him, Indra, and I thought, that right there was something else entirely that Naruto was sensing. I never would have thought that he would actually be sensing Indra inside of Sasuke all the way back then. So that right there is definitely impressive. And so now we see, well, this right here was obvious about Hashirama being the Asura assessor. I mean, about Hashirama being Asura back then and Madara being Indra. That right there was obvious. Like, everybody should know that by now. But we see that when Madara was actually going to die, that right there actually made a problem because he had fused the two chakras into one vessel. And that right there actually made Madara, kind of like transcend into the Sage, like close to a level, because Madara definitely became old and all, but we see that when those chakras had mixed and was in one vessel, that right there allowed Madara to awaken the Rinnegan. So it's just awesome, how Madara even back then, he just would not die, and his power and his lust for power had actually made him transcend into that. But that right there we already knew. But I do wonder, can the people that that are only these reincarnations of Asura and Indra awaken the Rinnegan? Because let's say that some random Uchiha was able to get his hands on some Senju DNA, and if they put those cells into their body, would they also transcend to the Sage level, or do you have to be the reincarnation of his sons to do that? Because that would kind of make me wonder, because we all know that Nagato here, he also had awakened the Rinnegan, and that would made me think, what was he possibly the reincarnation of Asura back then when he was alive? And it's possible because Madara was the reincarnation of Indra still living, then that right there allowed Nagato to awaken the Rinnegan. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that right there could be something to point out, because that right there would be awesome. And so we see now that the one here that had actually left this tablet for whoever was able to kind of get close to the Sage level to read, we see now that Madara here kind of interpreted it wrong, and now the Sage himself said that this tablet that he left behind, it lost the meeting. And Naruto was saying that all this time he'd been watching over his children fight. And that was definitely true, because he traveling between their successors, and he talked to them like he talked to Naruto and Sasuke right now. So I do wonder what happened to Hashirama that caused the Sage to talk to him, because I would definitely love to see a flashback of that, because that right there would have been so freaking awesome. And so now we see that once again the Sage here, he's now bringing up his mother. And we see, in one panel, we kind of see her, kind of shadowed out. But that right there definitely reminds me of the demon, from that sealing jutsu. So I'm still thinking with the fact that his mother, because she would fear as a demon, it's possible that she like really became one. And now the sage was saying, whenever one person has too much power, it will drive them mad at some point. And he said that right there is like happening to Madara, because Madara is definitely the strongest person in Naruto right now, and because he has so much power, and he's definitely at the sage level. He actually wants to gain enough power to be at Kaguya's level, and that right there would just be the end of everything. And we see now that this eternal Sokoyomi plan. We actually see what will happen, because everybody that will get trapped into it, they'll actually be wrapped up and they'll be connected to the tree, and it will actually create living slaves, and that right there is definitely like horrifying. And in this panel here, it actually reminded me of an old movie called The Matrix. I'm pretty sure some of you all have seen that. But basically, if this plan actually succeeded, then Naruto will like basically become like The Matrix. And that right there, it's just horrifying, to think about. But we see now that Kaguya here, not only did she have the Sharingan, but she also had the Byakugan. So that right there is now relevant once again in the story, because for a long time now, the Byakugan, it should have been a lot better. And I don't know why Kishimoto focused like so much on Sharingan so much, because I feel that the Byakugan is definitely a good power, and I wish that he would have expanded on that. But the fact here that Kaguya actually had those eyes as well, that right there is amazing. So it goes to show you that the Byakugan, it actually came from her. So that means that Hinata, Neji, and the Hyuga clan, they definitely have some ties here to the Sage. So I do wonder, now that the Byakugan has kind of made like relevant again, will Kishimoto expand on that, or are they just gonna drop the ball? Because I would love to see the Byakugan, get a moment to shine, especially Hinata here, who definitely needs it. Because the last time we saw her, she was like running and she fell. So clearly she definitely needs some addition for that. And so now the Sage was saying that all the chakra, I guess, that would be absorbed from the people in this eternal Sokoyomi, they'll be driven into a new fruit. And so that right there, if Madara eats that, he'll have all the chakra in the world, and that definitely cannot happen, because then it's gonna be game over. And so now we see the Sage here. He actually wants Naruto to stop Madara. But Naruto was saying that, all this time he's been watching over things, and he sees, how the world has turned out. And now Naruto was like thanking him, for believing in them. And that right there, was a nice moment. I definitely like that a lot. But now the Sage here was saying that, don't thank him. He does not have that kind of vision, because right now he sees the world as his mother wanted it, and he just wanted Naruto to stop this. So it's kind of a selfish wish, but at the same time, you gotta understand where it's coming from. And now he was saying that maybe his way of thinking about everything that he thought about, it might have been too naive. And we see now that right there, it's not the case, because Naruto was saying that he wasn't wrong. And so then we see Shukaku. He's now appeared out of nowhere, and not only that, we also saw the 8-tail as well. And so now Naruto has actually learned about what Obito did, because for some reason or somehow Obito knew what chakras of all the tail beasts Naruto didn't have. So Obito purposely, stole the 1-tail and the 8-tail for Naruto, and now we see now that the 9-tail is also back in Naruto as well. So that right there is awesome. And so now we have the other half of Kurama. He was saying that the time now has finally come, and we see now, somebody named Gamamaru. I'm guessing, that right there is like the that elder Toad. Because I'm pretty sure he's the only one that have really made all the predictions in Naruto so far. I don't think anybody else but him can really have that much kind of knowledge or wisdom, or whatever. So I'm pretty sure about that elder Toad that they were talking about. And so now we see that Naruto is definitely the child of prophecy, and we have the Sage here. He actually says all of the tail beasts names, and we see them now surrounding Naruto. and that right there was like so freaking epic. And so now with like Naruto having all of their chakras, even though it might not be a lot, it is definitely enough for like Naruto to become a sage himself. I'm pretty sure that right there is definitely obvious to everybody, so I cannot wait to see that, because it's going to be so freaking cool. And so now Naruto here, he was saying that, or we have the sage here asking Naruto about what he really wants to do, and he wants to hear an honest and sincere answer. And so now we have Naruto, you know, kind of putting himself down here, but he was saying that he knows what a friend is, and he has so many friends because we see them all behind him in these panels, and he wants to protect them all. And so then we see that the sage as well, he was also talking to Sasuke, even though we didn't see it till now. He was talking to Sasuke as well, and I actually wanted to hear, you know, Sasuke's answer. I don't know why they wouldn't show it to us, because to me that right there is kind of stupid, because this right here, you know, is a very important moment. So the fact that they wouldn't show us, you know, what he would say is definitely a bit mind-boggling, because I mean, come on now, I would definitely love to hear his answer right there. But we see now that the sage here, he's actually, you know, entrusting everything to them, you know, about changing this. And Naruto, I mean, he has so much faith now, you know, even though him and Sasuke aren't related by blood, he feels that they can definitely, you know, repair what's been going on, because they are friends. And that right there, you know, brings a smile to the sage's face. And so we see now that, you know, even though they aren't right by each other, we do see them together. And we see now that in Sasuke's mind, the sage here was like holding a moon staff, while Naruto was like holding a sun staff. So that goes to show you, like, even though they're like polar opposites, they definitely work well together. And so then we see, you know, like somebody or something appearing behind them, kind of like a giant Buddha, I guess you can say. But we see now that it also had like a third eye, and we see on one hand it has the sun, and on the other hand it has a moon. So basically, you know, the sage here had given them, you know, a power up, and now we see them both, you know, finally awakening, and I cannot wait to see, you know, the new power that they have, because like I said, Naruto definitely, you know, has sage power now, and I definitely think that Sasuke here now has the Rinnegan. So that was going to be awesome. But then we go back to the Madara and Guy fight, and to our surprise here, Guy is still alive and kicking, but Madara here is all beat up. And so now we see that a guy here, he actually has one more attack, and it's called Night Guy. Now I do know that, you know, in some other translations they call it Night Moth, but I always trust what Manga Stream says, because they just translated the best. So I'm definitely going with like what they say, and it's called Night Guy. But the fact here that, you know, Guy is still around and he beat up Madara like this, I feel that he might actually be saved, especially with like Naruto and Sasuke, you know, waking up. So it's possible that that Guy will be saved. And even though we saw what the AKs can do, because we see the condition that like Madara's in, I would definitely love if Guy was able to come out of this, because he's done a good job so far. So I don't feel like he deserves to die. Even though he's fine with that, I would definitely have no problem with him being saved. But like I said, this chapter right here, to me, it was amazing. I would definitely give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, because to me, I freaking loved it. So as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, and also let me know what you guys thought about the chapter as well. But as always, you gotta take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.